Hello music fans, welcome to the Death by Unicorn channel and to another episode of What's New 2023 where I talk about new albums that came out in metal, rock, and prog. Today I'm going to give my quick first impressions of 6 albums that came out on December 1st. I recommend you check all of these out if these descriptions sound good to you, and I'll talk about them in my order of preference, starting with Unprocessed and their album And Everything in Between. This is progressive metal, and it's got the gent style guitar playing. It's the 6th album by this German band. If you like Polyphia and Animals as Leaders style guitar playing, but want to hear some intense brutal vocals as well as some clean melodic singing over top, this is the band for you. Check out Unprocessed. Secondly, I want to talk about Toehider and their EP called Take on a Tank. This is heavy metal with power metal influences. It's the 5th EP by Michael Mills' project Toehider this year out of the 12 that he made for people who support him on Patreon. This came out a while back for them, but it's only now generally available. And this is kind of like Toehider meets Iron Maiden. It's the most traditional metal sounding EP he put out this year so far out of the 5 that he's made generally available. Thirdly, I want to talk about Calva Louise and their album Over the Threshold. This is kind of hard to describe in terms of genre because it's kind of alternative rock, kind of metal, kind of hardcore, kind of punk, kind of electronic all mixed together. Even has some like grunge influences in there. It's the 3rd album by this band from the UK. They have female vocals with clean singing and screaming. Definitely check it out. It was an interesting one. I never heard anything by them before, but the YouTube recommendation algorithm got me with this one. It just popped up as recommended for me. I listened to it and I thought it was pretty sweet. The 4th album I'm going to mention is actually another EP, and it's by Orbit Culture, and it's called The Forgotten. This is melodic death metal with groove metal influences. And the growls on here kind of reminded me of Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. Pretty powerful growling vocals. There's some clean vocals as well, great guitar, great instrumentals, really solid EP. Next, I want to talk about another EP by a great guitar player called Plini. And the EP is called Mirage. This is instrumental progressive rock. It's a really solid instrumental prog rock EP. It's got some metal influences, a lot of great guitar shredding on here by this Australian guitar shredder, Plini. And lastly, I want to talk about Peter Gabriel and his album I.O. And this is kind of art rock. It's got a lot of pop. It's got some progressive rock influences. Very soft album. And Peter Gabriel, of course, is the original frontman of Genesis, and this is his 10th solo album. He's a great British musician, very well known. He's had a long and successful solo career even after leaving Genesis. He dropped a single from this album on every full moon for the whole year. So every song was actually heard before the whole album was released, but the whole album kind of brings it all together. And there's 2 mixes here. There's a bright side and a dark side mix. The album is very beautiful. It's very soft and emotional. I definitely like it, but I was hoping for a little more variety in the emotions and the styles presented here. When I listen to any one track in isolation, I can definitely hear they're all great. Listening to the whole thing from start to finish kind of had me feeling like they were all a little slow and samey. So I have to admit I got a little bored, even though I still think it's a good album. And that's it for my first impressions of these 6 albums that came out on December 1st. What do you think of these? Did anything else come out recently in metal, rock, or prog that you think I might enjoy? Let me know down in the comments, and stay tuned until next time. Peace out.